Welcome to the Mindset Unleashed Today podcast. My name is Gucciardo, and I'm excited to share my insights and experiences with you to help you shift your mindset and improve your life. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be exploring different areas of life, discussing how to make positive changes. Now, I'll be doing this by interviewing guests who can provide additional perspectives and their experiences. I believe that by making a mindset shift, we can all unleash our full potential and create the lives we want to live. I hope you'll join me on this journey. How you doing, everybody? I want to welcome you back to the Mindset Unleashed podcast. I'm Tommy Gucciardo, and I'm your host. And, this podcast focuses on the power of the mind and how it affects people's lives on a daily basis. I'm really excited today. We have a guest that is not only up and coming in the music industry, he's an entrepreneur and he has his own clothing brand. And this guy is amazing. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I go by the name of Jaeo Draftpick. Long Island's in the building, 51631, officially here. You gave me a nice introduction. I think you said it all.
You said it all? All right.
I'm the man, basically.
Okay. Well, tell us how it started. How did music become part of your life?
Just like any young kid, you fall in love with music, whether it was, Nas, Biggie, somebody, stories, hear people going through things, and music just became soundtrack to my life. School, you liked going through things with the music, and as I got older, music kind of like fell into my lap. Like I played around with it to the point where somebody that I knew got signed, got a deal, and we kind of like rode that wave, as they would say, and really didn't get passionate with it until I saw somebody make money out of it. I was like, you know what, you can make a lot of money out of this. So me being the hustler type person I am, I always looked at it as a business more than anything. And then through that, the clothing line came, my business and everything else, so out and so forth.
So when did you first actually start singing? Was it when you were a kid? When you were like?
Well, Michael Jackson was like somebody I looked up to. There's probably videos somewhere in my mother's house.
You're jumping around,
yeah,
singing
with the hat on. Like one of my biggest singles, All I Know, has a picture from the house where I have the Michael Jackson like hat on. I got my my hand on my crotch doing a little Michael Jackson dance. So definitely Michael Jackson. I always liked music, but again, until I really saw somebody else do it on their own and make it, I said, this is something that's actually be possible.
Right, that's great, man. Yeah, man. When you take your passion and kind of like flow with it and run with it, it opens up a lot of doors for you.
So many that, to this day, it still surprises me, the things I'm able to do just primarily off the music, going from this avenue to another avenue.
Right. Now you said, like what you were going through, like does your music like reflect your life? Do you take what happens in your daily life and put it into your music?
Nah, for sure. Every song rather has a little bit of my truth. Maybe it's somebody else's, maybe my friends or somebody else's, but for sure.
Right. So it's stuff that you go through and what you feel.
100%.
All right, cool. Now, what got you into the actual, from music into being an entrepreneur?
Again, it kind of just happened. 51631 is, the clothing brand. That's, where I'm from, Long Island. You have 516 Nassau County, where I'm from, 631 Suffolk County. The island's made up of those two counties. So when, you put them together, you get 51631. People say Strong Island, Long Island, 51631 was just my own rendition of it. But that came from the song. I did a song, we did a video, and the kid that was working with me at the time, he was like, yo, let's, we should do, the merch and everything. I had merch before, just, regular Jaeo Draftpick. It wasn't, it was just my brand, my name, so I'm like, let me do something that is more wider range that everybody could get behind. Because even if you don't like Jaeo Draftpick, you could still like 516.
Yeah, you can say 516, you're from the island.
For sure. So that kind of came, we did the song, and how we did the video was almost, like looking back at it now, it almost looked like a commercial. Everybody got hats on, it's different color hats. You see hats everywhere. You would have thought we were making the hats in the video, So I had an Islanders jersey on in the video with the hat to match, and the video had been out for a while. We put it on Facebook, and it just went nuts to the point I was selling hats around the way just to get rid of them because we had them for the video. And it went on Facebook. It got maybe to this day now probably like 1.2 million views, and
wow.
I probably sold from that time in September to December, the end of the year, I don't know, maybe 10,000 hats. And then I was like, it kind of clicked. It was like, all right, this is something I need to be doing. And here we are, like 7 years later.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So you've been doing that for 7 years.
7 years, and it actually got me my first record deal too, because the song was so big, in Long Island that, Tommy Boy, they gave me a distribution deal and, it rocked out. I had a lot of opportunities from that.
Wow, so you got lucky. You found something. You ran with it.
I say it all the time. I got lucky. Even that week that happened, I was working. Ended up, I guess, quitting, getting fired, whatever. And I was just home that day. Had the extra time. The video had been out for X amount of months already, and I just like, let me upload this on Facebook. Let me see what I'm gonna do today. Take a shot, upload it on Facebook, and again, here we are.
Wow, that's great. So, in your music career, like any big shows that you've done? I think you just did the Liberty.
We just did Liberty, but I mean, I've done French Montana, Jimmy Jones. I mean, I've done songs with a lot of these people in the tri-state area. Even Mr. Fab in the West Coast, I've had a song with, and that was before I even got the Tommy Boy. So I've always been running around, doing the music or the music industry. The clothing and the deal, it just brought me a more business-like approach with the music as to where before I was just a rapper.
Right.
I was just trying to run around, do shows and do this and that. But as far as the biggest, probably the Liberty right now might be.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, the Liberty game might be one of the biggest shows that I've done as far as capacity-wise, for sure.
How was that feeling when you go out there?
It was a nervous feeling. It was a nervous feeling because, again, I knew it was a big venue, and it was the first time my mother was gonna come see me perform too. Wow. So it was nervous. It was nerve-wracking. It went super quick.
It was before you blink of an eye, right?
Yeah, it was like before I knew it, the song was on, and I turned around, and it's like, that's my time. Like, it went super quick. So I guess for that excitement, I would say it was good. It was definitely good. Definitely rememberable for sure.
How was your mom after that?
She was like, this is what you do. I never really saw what you do. She'll see it through, social media and something that I sent her. So, and even her, she was a big supporter in anything I do, but just from afar. And for her to see me, it's one thing she always talks about, her co-workers, my son. But for her to finally go and see, I think it meant a lot for her, especially something like the Barclays Center.
Right, that must have been a proud moment.
No, for sure.
That's great.
For sure.
That's phenomenal. So, so you're a music guy, you're an entrepreneur. Is there a different mindset? Do you have to shift back and forth? Is there a different way of thinking in the music industry than to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, because I think at times the music, you could move a little more loosely. I could get, as I say, a little more, ratchet, with the music. As to my entrepreneur, I can't resort to certain things I resort to in music time, because it's like, you might mess a business up. But even with the music now, the way that it's becoming a business in a sense, can't really mess that up doing anything. So everything has to be business-esque in a sense. Right. So it's not like I act one way with the music and, you see me in the store, I got glasses on, like I'm the same guy.
You're the same guy no matter what.
I'm the same guy, but I definitely move everything business. Business.
So it has to be a perception too. There's a rapper trying to be a business guy.
100%.
Right?
100%.
That has to be tough.
100%.
So how do you overcome that?
I think due time, they'll just see, the way I move, and I don't try to be anything that I'm not. This is me. Sit like it,
Right, you're not changing your personality, changing what you do.
But whether it's the way I talk or whatever, you always have to adapt to what's going on. So that for sure. Right. And I'm like, I guess what do you call it? A chameleon in that sense.
Yeah. You have to adapt to your surroundings.
Gotta adapt.
So what's the biggest struggle that you found? Let's talk about the music side of it. What's the biggest struggle of being in the music industry?
It's a million other people out there trying to do the same thing you're doing. Standing out. And normally, whether it was school as a person, that was never really hard, but it's just so, it's so much these days. We come from an era where music doesn't come out as fluently as it does. People are literally dropping music every hour on the hour. So it's just a matter of staying up to date. So it's definitely tough.
And what about being an entrepreneur?
I would think, in a sense, the same as businesses. You're not going to be the only McDonald's. You're not going to be the only, car wash. You're not going to be the only dry cleaner. So it's about, staying innovative, keeping up with the times and having good product. That's what any business is about.
Right. So like on the music side of it, how do you stay relevant? Like what's because that got to be tough, because like you said before, there's so many people, doing it. There's so many people trying to drop stuff, and it's easy to do it now, right? You don't need to go to a recording studio. No. You can do it in your house. No. So like you put in a lot of time, right?
I think that the main thing for me is just not doing what everybody else does. I always prided myself for being, different with everything that I try to do. And I know it's like, I guess, cliche to say it, but that's just what it is. If you do something different, it's good enough, it stands out, you get some eyes. So that's what we try to do. I don't try to do what everybody else does. I just try to do what works for me, and that's always what's working.
Just keep rolling with it, right?
That's it.
So, like with your brand, do you have any like aspirations of making it national? Because it's 516-631.
The toughest part about it is that my target audience is in Long Island, but through shipping, because I'm the one that does the shipping and bagging, I send everything off. We're in Florida, Atlanta, North Carolina. It's everywhere, but my main vision for it would to be, something with the Islanders, because that's kind of what got me in there. Maybe if we could have a store in the Islanders, where the Islanders play, or the Nassau Coliseum, the Nets, the Long Island Nets play there. That would be something. Maybe even a jersey. I could get it on the jersey. That would probably be one of the bigger things for me.
Right. That's great. You just got to keep on,
That'd be dope.
You just keep on keeping your vision, right?
That's it.
And being true to yourself, because that's what I see with you. You're like 100%. Just very humble.
100%.
You look like what is here right now is who you are.
No, for sure.
And that's why I'm sure your music is successful. I'm sure, as being an entrepreneur is successful, Any advice you have to people out there that are just starting the music industry?
Have a good team. Have people that you want people to believe in you, and you want people to be honest with you, even if it's something they don't like. You want them to tell you. You want people to guide you, whether it's something as a friend, something as a business. You just want to have good. You want to have both around. You want to have good friends, and you want to have good people in business with that could do work for you. So keep good people around you, and hopefully you shall succeed.
Yeah, that's the key to it too. If you have a good team around you,
100%.
You have to rely on people too.
A lot, and I think that's what led me to another level, because I tried to do so much by myself. To when I finally allowed other people to come in, it's like, you know what? I can't do this by myself.
No.
People think you can do everything. You can't. Nobody.
Listen, that just drive you crazy. It's going to burn you out, and it's not. You're not going to. Then you dilute what you're doing.
No, for sure.
Right.
For sure. But it gives me time to take time off other things.
Right.
I don't have to focus all on this. I can do a little bit of this while they do a little bit of that. And with the music, 100%. Like my producer, for so long, he made beats for me, and that was it. But until finally started letting him in on the creative process, that's when everything kind of changed for me.
Right.
So again, it's just finding good help. Good help is definitely hard to find.
Yeah, like even me, like in my business, there's times where I just want to do everything because I know I could do it.
For sure.
Right? For sure. Like I know you could ship, you could go out and you could bag it, you could promote it.
You do everything.
But like really when you really have a vision, and you have to make sure people follow that vision, right?
Sure. You gotta be able to lead. It's funny, you get into conversations with people, it's like, oh, you're not, you got to learn how to lead. I guess in a relationship, I was told I wasn't the best leader in a relationship, but I like to think I am business-minded. So, follow me and we going to win.
Right. You can't be perfect all the time.
I can't be perfect everywhere. I'm not perfect with everything.
You just got to do your best and things happen,
For sure.
And listen, leaders, it's, people think you have to lead by, screaming, yelling, or being forceful. People, you can lead by example.
No, for sure.
Just carry yourself the right way.
100%.
Being the right person.
Even with the company, we do a lot of give backs in the community, and that's what my main message is to the kids, because that's something they always ask me, like, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? It's like I try to just do things that other people didn't do for me, and again, being different. When I was coming up, the people that were doing music or had money to do type of things in the neighborhood, they wouldn't even do it. The town wouldn't even do it. Like the town I come from, they didn't start doing back to school give backs till they found out that a rapper was doing one in the town, and that's that's on everything. So it's like leading by example, you know. They're able to do something maybe in a bigger scale that I could do it, so everybody wins.
Yeah, that's one thing that we believe in with my company. You know, we're in every charity. Somebody asks us for something, because, you know, it always feels good to give back something.
That's it.
You know, that's how you grow as a person.
100%. You know, I recently just went to my old high school, you know, to get a transcript. You know, trying to go back to school, take some online classes while I got the time, the free time and everything. And, you know, they gravitated to me so much that they wanted me to come back to the school one day, you know, whenever you get the time, and just talk to the kids. Because, you know, kids, listen, it's tough being an adult these days, so I can imagine trying to be a kid these days with everything that's going on.
It is so hard to be kids.
Super with, you know, especially social media. You know, a lot of people grew up in an era they didn't have social media, they didn't have these tangible items to make you think things are possible.
Right.
So we didn't see, you know, people go from nobody to a celebrity in 2 months. You know, back then there was no social media. You know, you see a magazine, you hear this, you hear that. You know, the internet was just kind of starting out, and
but that's also a negative too. You know, too much of that stuff, you know, doesn't work for people.
To the point, you know, you said, you know, what's the hardest thing is, you know, trying to separate yourself, because it's so much.
Right.
Now. It's so.
And what makes people look at you differently?
For sure. For sure. 100%.
Yeah, but that's good that you give back to the kids, because that's like.
It does something to me that even receiving the money. At times, I mean, I like to receive
money's
money.
Okay. Money's all right. We're not going to be mad at money.
You know, money's always good, but sometimes, you know, just to see the kids on, like, their faces, like, we gave out, you know, sneakers this year, and it was dope. Like, just even the parents, like, people coming hugging me, like I'm Mother Teresa, like, you know, and it was cool. I loved it. Like, I loved it. Like, I did chill.
People that bag means a lot to somebody.
Super.
You know, those sneakers that could last somebody a whole year.
And that's how we started it, because, you know, my son, you know, going to school, I'm like, damn, like, kids are really, like, they really need things that you realize, and you know, from then and there, just, you know, and again, that's we're on we just completed our 7th year for Give Back, you know, 51631.
All right, you just got to keep doing that.
Got to keep going.
Yo, don't stop that.
Nah, that we not. You
know, so like with all this stuff, how do you stay like? How do you keep your mind right during the day? Like you're giving back stuff. You have a clothing brand, your music, you know, you have other businesses. So how do you stay focused on a daily basis? Like, how do you attack your day?
God, man. Like, I started off with God, I finished it with God. Just pray, man. You gotta just pray. I like even that being in tune with my spiritual side, like, was just good for my mental. Like, you know, sometimes I'll be in my house. I'm not ashamed to say this. I talk to myself every day, like all through the day. I probably talk to myself more than I talk to other people. Like, I'm just walking around. I'll even, you know, whether my son or my lady would be at the house, like, who are you talking to? Like, you know what? Never mind. Like I literally will talk to myself. I'll answer a question, you know, finish it, ask myself something. So it's got to keep your mental good, and God is the best tool, because He's going to talk to you, and if you can't actually hear the words, He's going to bring it to your face.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's
because sometimes it's not about the words; it's about things that happen in your life.
100%. And it wasn't until I got more in touch with that spiritual side where everything just started to happen. Like, I think a lot of people, you know, we grew up in an era, like, you know, when you grow up, you know, what was they say in the hood or whatever, it's like, it's corny to go to church, or corny to believe in, you know, a God, or even in your mentals, like, oh, like, you soft. Like, nah, you got to get in touch with your mentals, your emotionals, everything, your physical. Like,
physicals are just as important.
For sure. And even that, like, I never was one of, like, to go to the gym, like, you know, my face look good enough. I don't got to go to the gym or anything like that. But listen, I'm in the gym, and it's great. It's a great feeling. Even when people tell you that, like, you know, you look like you're doing this or you're doing that. So mental, and even that's good for your mental, because you need to hear it. That's a matter of, you know, keeping the right people around. It validates
that you're doing all right. That things are going
100%. And I think so many people don't have the right people around them that can validate what they're doing in a good way, so that they know that they're doing something.
Right. I'm glad you hit on that, because like that's really important. People don't realize like the physical, the spiritual, and the mental is really important.
Huge. It's
like,
huge.
You know, like I've been struggling for the last couple of of years with some stuff, and like, you know, all right, my physical's bad, then my mental's good, then my spirit. When you have all three of those working together, you know, things happen, man.
For sure.
And they happen when you don't even want them to happen. They just happen because they're supposed to happen.
Listen, there's people I've even met just going to the gym now that, you know, I've gotten to business with, or, you know, or have little business dealings with. So you just really never know. And again, it's all about the energy. So you're doing right, you're moving right in the universe gonna work for you in your favor.
And I'm glad you talk to yourself too, because I do it also. It's like
every day.
You know, like
every day.
Sometimes I just have to let it out and talk about it.
You got to.
You know,
man,
and you know, half the times, like you're dealing with a problem and you're saying, you know, once it starts coming out, I said, this is not a problem.
No, it's not.
It's simple.
It's not.
But if you keep it inside and you don't talk about it, then that becomes the problem, because now it festers.
Well, my dog too. I talk to my dog. Just she understands me. I know she understands. But that's good for your mental. Pets, animals are good for your mental too.
You'd be surprised, man.
Super.
Surprised. But you know, like, it's really, like, I'm glad you talked about that, because that's like really important, and a lot of people forget about it, man. You know, and you know, I grew up Catholic, and it's tough to be like that. You know, God, and you know, sometimes you think God is bad, is punishing, but you know, God is good, man.
God is good. God is good all the time, my brother.
You
all
know,
the time.
as long as you're really talking to him and talking the right way.
For sure.
Not asking for things for me, or you know, as long as we're growing and asking for things for people around us.
For sure. I think it's about, you know, spreading it. And I think once you spread the power and the message, and like you said, it comes back to you. Like, it's not always when you want it, how you want it, you know, but you will understand when it happens.
Right.
Like, everything doesn't happen the way you want it to. It happens the way it's supposed to.
Right. And that's because we're not controlling it.
You don't control it. It's all in.
Listen, I know when I control stuff, man, things don't happen good. It's never good, you know? But sometimes when you have to let it go to other people, you know, let things happen, you know, things work out, man.
Back to my point with the music, when I put it in other people's hands, you know, it became to rise more.
Right, and look what you did. Like, you started doing stuff and people started seeing you. Now you have a clothing line. And as you grow as a person and an entrepreneur and a musician, you know, more people will see you, and more opportunities open up for you.
That's it.
You just have to be ready for the opportunity.
That you have to be, because you know, back to the business, I wasn't ready, you know, early on when these hats came out. We just put a video out. I didn't have it ready. Right. So, you know, that was a big part of growing up in a business as well. Like, you know, you're not really thinking about the presentation. Like, you know, somebody puts in, oh, well, it's not even packaged right. Me even as a consumer.
That's a learning process.
And that was the biggest learning process that I had, because again, I wasn't ready at that time. So you had orders that were, you know, backed up. So again, it's time. It's a process.
Listen, nothing. If it goes straight through 100%, it's never going to happen, right? It's going to be up and down.
It's a setup.
So the first time it might go good, but you got to be ready for those, you know, those obstacles, and be prepared for them.
For sure, 100%.
You know, and you have a clear head, so that's a good, you know, that's a good start right there.
That it is.
You know, well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I mean, you talked a lot of great things about spirituality, about, you know, being humble, being true to yourself, and things happen in your life, you know, and the giving back is beautiful. Keep it up, man.
Gotta give back. Give back the blessings, you're gonna get 100 more.
All right, you want to tell everybody where they can find you?
You can find me at all my socials, Jaeo Draftpick, Jaeo Draftpick, YouTube, Draftpick's music, shop the51631.com. You know.
All right, I love it. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man. All right, thank you everybody for tuning in. I want you to follow this guy Jaeo Draftpick on all his handles, and we'll see you next week.
You know.